Today we're taking apart an ice dispenser movement from an old refrigerator. This is the part that moves the ice from the ice tray and through the door ice dispenser. When you press the button on the door, this thing turns and makes the ice come out. Let's see what's inside. Looks like there's a solenoid in here for back and forth movement and a nice big electric shaded pole motor. We'll explain what shaded pole means in a few minutes. First, let's get down. It even has a little gear transmission in here too, obviously to reduce the gear to force the ice out of the refrigerator. That's public domain music playing, by the way. There should be no copyright issues. It's public domain from the 1920s. Use a pair of vice grips to hold the shaft in place to unscrew. A piece of plastic on the casing and housing. Here's a solenoid. When there's power energized to the solenoid, it'll open and close, and there'll be a spring in here to return the solenoid back to its original position. There's no spring here, so it looks like it would fall back down by gravity. And a ground wire. So far it's yielded a useful solenoid that runs on 110 to 127 basic house current, 120 to 125 volts AC. Why they say house current is 110 volts, well, usually it's 120, 125, depending on the output of demand from the utility. And this has a useful transmission here, so have to see how many RPMs this will turn at with the transmission. It could be very useful for the rock tumbler that will be built in a future video, so stay tuned for how to build your own rock tumbler. And a basic wiring harness with the different connections to connect to the refrigerator when it was in operation. Ground wires, of course. You don't want to get shocked when people are using the refrigerator. Another piece of plastic housing. You'll notice it's kind of translucent. You could actually use it in a maker project. Put a light bulb in here and make it light up and paint different designs or put things on there, and as a good maker project. So this will be saved for a future video. The plastic casing could be used for a maker project for repurposing as well. Instead of just throwing it into the landfill, there's lots of different things that could be done with this in a future video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't miss those future videos. Even the wiring harness can be saved as for decorative items to show for a maker project. Maybe even reuse if you could trace the wire connections to see where they come and go. For example, these two connectors snap together so they could actually be used to wire something together if you want to bother reusing the connectors to quickly take something apart or disconnect and reconnect. As is the solenoid, you want something to go back and forth for motion in a project. Well, that was a pretty simple thing, and all it yielded is a little handful of nut driver screws and a couple pieces of plastic that can be used again. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and come back for another taking part something video again in the future. Let's talk about the shaded pole motor. The copper has the unusual effect of slowing down or delaying the magnetic current. They waterproof this motor for the refrigerator, but if you scrape the paint away, you'll see that these are copper, pieces of copper going through the motor to alter the magnetic field of the motor, because the copper will cause a slight delay in the pulse from the alternating current from this side of the winding to this side, and at the same time you see this shaded poles are here too, from this side of the winding and this side of the winding, and you'll see that they're offset slightly at an angle, so when the motor turns and the alternating current, which alternates or cycles at 60 hertz a second, 60 cycles a second for you old timers out there, it'll make the motor turn in one direction with the rotor here. So let's see how this refrigerator motor works that we took apart. Some of you are probably wondering why there's not black and red like DC current, but there is no polarity for alternating current. Well, there is at the hot wire and the neutral, but for this part they'll work just the same. You'll see the motor probably turns about turns at a good rate, and it can't be stopped. There's a high torque with this gearbox attached to the motor. Let's see how the solenoid works. When the solenoid is energized, it'll pull the coil in. And that's how the solenoid works. When the magnetic field pulls the metal shaft into the magnetic coil, it will cause movement. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and come again for another Taking Things Apart video. Goodbye for now.